Okay, player to watch for England for the Six Nations, Jack Nowell. He wasn't going to be fully fit. It was a worry that he was going to be fit enough for the first game. He's fit enough to face Italy. Whether he's fit enough to make it through the whole tournament is another question entirely. He was one of the players that was injured for Eddie Jones, and he was still in the squad, and it was a touch and go decision. He's passed his fitness test. He's a player to watch for me. I think he still has a little bit to prove to me because of Anthony Watson and Johnny May, Mike Brown. Because he plays in that back three of wing fullback, I still think he has something to prove. He plays for an Exeter Chiefs side that goes under the radar a lot, and at the moment he's the most experienced player on this players to watch list. He is. He's the most experienced player when it comes to caps out of this list so far. He needs to step up his game a little bit. What he's doing for Exeter is amazing. What Exeter are doing in the Rugby Union Premiership in England is amazing. They're going under the radar as well. Not a lot of people are talking about Exeter Chiefs, and I believe they should get more credit in the press because they are dominating that league at the moment, and they're showing up the more established sides because they've only been in the Premiership for about 5-6 years, and they've really established themselves well. And Jack Nowell is part of that. He's an exciting young talent. He's been on the England side now for 3-4 years. He still needs, for me, to step up his game ever so slightly. He's an undoubted talent. It's good that he also can regularly get into the England side as well. He's competing for a place alongside Anthony Watson, Johnny May, Mike Brown. He's competing alongside those players to get into that back three setup. And he doesn't play every England game, but he's competing against some very good wingers and fullbacks to get into Eddie Jones's plans, and Eddie Jones obviously sees him as part of his plan. And with the amount of injuries that, as I mentioned, have already beset the Six Nations before we even start, it's a chance for him to have a really breakout tournament and put his hand up and say, "You can't drop me." I think he could have a really, really good tournament. And he's not the most experienced player, but he could be, with all these new caps coming in and these less experienced players, he could make a shout to be a leader as well, show his leadership qualities. He's an undoubted skilled player, but at international level he needs to score a little bit more for me. He needs to get in those positions to support the runner on the shoulder, like a rugby league winger would, and score the tries. Because he's undoubtedly got the energy and the drive, and for this Six Nations he just needs to keep that fitness level up because obviously it was an injury scare, and there are a lot of players right now who are not fit enough to at least start the tournament. So he needs to. Okay, now he's fit. If it was just a little tight hamstring or a little bit of soreness, that's fine. If it was anything more serious, I don't think he would have at least started. He's in the squad. I think he's a player to watch out for. He may not start every game. He may have to come off the bench, but the fact that he's in and around the squad is a good point. Also, to note, he's always played professionally at the same club at Exeter. He's never thought of being drawn away to the big money at Saracens or Wasps. He stayed with Exeter, which is crucial to their success. Why they've been so successful is they managed to keep hold of their talented youngsters. And honestly, I think he could be one of the best attacking threats that we have, simply because there are so many players out. He needs to put his hand up, and he needs to put that extra 10% of effort in, and he will then be very hard to drop, as I've said about all the other players, because of the injuries and the gaps in lineups, and it being in a World Cup cycle. He needs to put his hand up and put the shift in, and keep up the good form that he's shown for Exeter over the last few years, and keep giving Eddie Jones reason not to drop him, and reason to keep selecting him, because it's so competitive. And if you look at the England setup, the amount of inexperienced players in there, any number of talented wingers, fullbacks and centres could unseat him. So he's a player to watch. I think he'd be putting a lot more effort in. And he's still really young. He's still only in his mid-20s. He's still got a long career ahead of him. Got another 10 years at the top level ahead of him. So I'm not saying he's going to be like, if he doesn't play every game, he's never going to play for England ever again. He's got to keep Eddie Jones in mind that he wants to play at the next World Cup. And I think any player that was involved in the last World Cup will want to, if they're still playing in a year's time, or they're still playing international rugby in a year's time, to go, look, I want to avenge 4 years ago and cleanse myself of that disaster. And if they were playing 2011, just remember English rugby's had 2 really poor World Cups. I think it's time for us to have a decent one. And that goes for all the Six Nations. There's been some great stories and there's been some not so great stories. That's Jack Nowell, player to watch. He's one of my players to watch. And again, he plays for Exeter Chiefs, and they don't get the credit they deserve. They have developed a great young player, and I think Eddie Jones can get the best out of him. And I honestly believe Exeter's got a great production on talent right now. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe, place your comments below, and I'll have some more videos for you soon.